Hey everyone, so today I'm doing my June TBR. First of all, how the heck are we in June? But anyway, second of all, of course, June is Pride Month, so I'm definitely planning to read a lot of LGBTQIA+ books in June. There is a 90% chance that I am moving in June, plus leading up to the move I am going to be doing a lot of packing, so I'm definitely going to mostly be listening to audiobooks, so that should be how I'm going to get a lot of my reading done, because obviously I'm going to be very busy. But I'm so excited about the books on my TBR. So very excited to talk about them, so let's just get into it. But first I'm going to talk about the non-LGBTQIA+ books that I'm going to read. So the first book is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones, and I'm reading this for my Patreon. If you don't know, I have a Patreon. We do a monthly buddy reads, and this is the book we're reading in June. So this is actually a YA fantasy slash historical fiction slash horror, so that sounds like a really amazing mix. And actually, before I continue, this is the Alcrate edition, that's why it's white. The regular cover is black. But yes, so I got this in an Alcrate and I was super intrigued because it just sounds like it's going to be everything. So we basically follow Aderin, nicknamed Rin, who cares about two things: her family and her family's graveyard. And right now both of those things aren't looking good. Both of her parents have died, so Rin and her siblings have to work as grave diggers to try to survive. So they work as grave diggers in the remote village of Colburn, which sits at the foot of a deadly mountain that was once home to the Fae. And you know, if there's any story with Fae in it, I am all about it. And in this world, the dead don't stay dead, and the risen corpses are known as the Bone Houses. And an apprentice mapmaker named Ellis arrives in the town, and the Bone Houses are very angry about it, so they're trying to figure out how to stop these Bone Houses. And yeah, it just sounds so cool, so I'm very excited. And this is only like 330 pages, so I'm not feeling too stressed about it. Like, it'll definitely happen, and hopefully I'll just get sucked in the story and I'll just love it and read it quickly. So yeah, very excited. I always love our monthly buddy reads on Patreon. If you're interested in joining, I will of course, as always, have my Patreon linked below. But yeah, so in June I'm also most likely going to continue reading Tokyo Ghoul. So I read Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1 recently, and it's like my new obsession. I loved it. I'm watching the anime and I love it so much, and I've ordered the box set, so I'm definitely going to have to continue reading the next volumes because, like I said, I'm obsessed, so it's happening. If you don't know, this is a horror manga about ghouls who have to eat human flesh to survive, and I just love it, so I'm definitely going to read more volumes in June. Okay, so now for the list of LGBTQA+ books. So I really hope I can read The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, and this is actually a YA contemporary written in verse, and how stunning is this cover? Like, it is stunning. So I already have the audiobook for this on Audible, and it's been on my TBR for ages, but Kevin from iTreader, of course, read this recently and he really loved it, and it reminded me that I really want to read this book, so I'm going to read it in June. It's also really short, so you know, I think this will definitely happen, and I'm just really excited because, like I said, Kevin loved it. Kevin said that it deals with a lot of things like race and gender and sexuality and drag, and the tagline for this book is "I masquerade in makeup and feathers and I am applauded." So we follow a boy who is coming to terms with his identity as a mixed race gay teen, and then we also follow him during university where he finds his wings as a drag artist, which sounds amazing. So yeah, definitely want to read this. The next book I want to read is The Henna Wars by Adiba Jagira, and this was on my most anticipated releases of 2020 video. It is a YA contemporary and it involves a female romance, and we follow two teen girls with rival henna businesses, so I'm guessing it's also a hate to love situation. So our main character is Nishat, and she is Muslim and she's a lesbian, and her parents tell her that Muslim girls aren't supposed to be lesbians, so she struggles with having to hide who she is. And like I said, it involves a romance, and I believe it also discusses cultural appropriation, so yes, so excited for this one. Once again, amazing cover, so yes, very excited. The next book on my TBR is Date Me, Bryson Keller by Kevin Van Wy, and this is a YA contemporary romance. It's being pitched as To All the Boys I've Loved Before meets Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, so I'm hoping to just have a fun, cute time reading this. Then the next book I want to read is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar. So this is a YA contemporary following a transgender teen grappling with identity and self-discovery while also falling in love for the first time. And once again, amazing cover. These covers, actually, this this is like the TBR of beautiful covers because they're all so good. Yeah, so very, very excited for this one. This was another one that was on my most anticipated releases list. I've also seen really good things so far, so I'm very excited. And there definitely aren't enough stories about transgender teens, especially black transgender teens, so I'm very, very happy that this is out there to be consumed, and I can't wait, and I hope I love it. The next book I want to read is Check Please Book 2. So this is book 1. I've ordered book 2, so I hopefully will have it in time for June. And book 2 is the conclusion, and I feel like I've been waiting for it for ages. It is a webcomic, so you actually can read this whole thing online for free, so I'll leave it linked down below. But I have been waiting for the physical copy, and I'm so happy it's finally released. Another book that was on my most anticipated releases. But if you don't know, this comic series basically follows Biddy, who is a vlogger, which is so fun, and he obviously plays hockey, he loves baking, and there's a male-male romance, and it's just a lot of fun. So I can't wait to see what happens in book 2, and hopefully it's as cute as book 1. Then I want to read Bloom, and this is a graphic novel, and it's really cool because the color palette is all shades of blue. So I've never read a graphic novel with only this color palette, so that is going to be really cool. And I don't know too much about this. I know it's a male-male romance and that a lot of people love it. So yeah, I'm gonna read it and hopefully love it. I've had this for quite a while now, so I'm excited to finally get to it in June. Okay, so I'm just going to mention 2 books that I will read if I have the time, but these don't have audiobooks, so I would have to physically read them. That's why I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to them, but I would really, really love to. So the first is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyan. This is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire. Oh my god, sorry, I just saw the cover in the viewfinder and it's honestly just too much. Like, it's literally the best cover of all time, but anyway. So yeah, this is a sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, and a lot of you know I absolutely loved Girls of Paper and Fire. So I was so excited for this book, and unfortunately I started reading it at a time where I was in like a reading slump. So yeah, I just didn't read it at a good time. So I have started it, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm on page 57. So yeah, I haven't made too much progress, but I've been meaning to finish it for so long. So if I have the time, I would really, really love to be able to finish it in June. This is an Asian fantasy series, and it does involve a female romance, and I love the romance and I love everything about the first book. So yeah, I just can't believe I haven't read this book. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, like I said, hopefully it can happen in June. Every time I look at it, I'm sad that I haven't read it yet. So yeah, I'm really hoping that in my downtime I will just really want to read, but who knows, I might just be way too tired, so we'll see. And lastly, I have The Dark Tide by Alicia Dacinska, and this is a new YA fantasy that is actually coming out in June, and once again it involves a female romance. It's supposed to be a fantasy that reads like a dark fairy tale, which sounds so appealing to me, and it's supposed to have like gothic vibes. And yeah, it's about 2 girls who must choose whether to save themselves, each other, or their sinking island city. So yeah, like I said, if I have time, would love to read this. Okay, so those are all the books that are on my June TBR. Please let me know any LGBTQIA+ books that are on your TBR, or any that you've read and recommend to me, because I'm always looking for more recommendations. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a good day or night, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.